Of course, our founding fathers were not stupid. They were well aware of mass killings that had occurred prior to the adoption of the Second Amendment. That's why they adopted the Second Amendment. Hey folks, I'm Mark Smith, host of the Four Boxes Diner, constitutional attorney, member of the United States Supreme Court Bar, and proud American gun owner. If you haven't subscribed, then please do so and show your support for the Second Amendment. After the school shooting by a psychopath in Uvalde, Texas, many people on the left sought to take away our gun rights. That is their plan. That is always their agenda, no matter what is going on. In fact, noted constitutional scholar Kim Kardashian weighed in on the Second Amendment and mass killings. She said, "We have to stop allowing people to use a sentence written centuries ago when technology, times, humanity were completely different to dictate how we regulate gun ownership and how we protect our kids today." Now, Kim Kardashian has failed California's baby bar multiple times, so maybe she shouldn't be lecturing us on constitutional law. But I do have something important to tell you, which is that contrary to what is being said in the modern media, the reality is, and this is why you tune into this channel for the history of America is that the founding fathers were well aware of the dangers and realities of mass killings before they adopted the Second Amendment. In fact, they actually established the right to keep and bear arms that we all enjoy today in America because of these mass killings in America before the Second Amendment. Let me just give you a handful of examples, of which there are countless, of mass killings that took place before our founders wrote the Second Amendment, ensuring we had the right to keep and bear arms, to demonstrate that the founders were not stupid. They knew all about bad people and evil people and others for various motives going out and killing large numbers of people all at once. It was not news to them. So any suggesting that the founding fathers would not have adopted the Second Amendment if they were aware of mass shootings in modern America simply doesn't know American history. To begin with, in 1622, in Jamestown, what is now Virginia, the Jamestown Massacre led to the death in a single day of 347. That's 347 men, women, and children were killed by Indians or North American tribes, so how you want to define them. They were killed, and this wiped out basically 1/4 of Jamestown colony's population in a single day. In 1755, Draper's Meadow Massacre took place. Shawnee Indians attacked a Virginia settlement. They killed at least 5 people, including an infant. In 1755, again, the Penn Creek Massacre. At the Penn Creek Massacre, Indians raided a settlement along Penns Creek in Pennsylvania. They killed 14 people. In 1774, other Native American tribes raided various Virginia settlements. Thousands of settlers were forced to flee. James Madison, the author of the Constitution, I repeat, James Madison, the author of the Constitution, wrote that the attacking Indians were determined in the extirpation of the inhabitants. John Adams, another founding father, said that hardy, robust people throughout the colonies had become habituated to carrying their guns, rifles, upon one shoulder to defend themselves against the Indians. In the year 1778, Little Egg Harbor Massacre took place. A group of Tory loyalists, those were the British, snuck into an encampment of American soldiers at night, and they bayoneted the men as they slept. On that one night in 1778, 50 men were killed by British bayonets. In 1778, the Cherry Valley Massacre took place. Loyalists, British soldiers, and various Indian tribes raided a New York town, killing 14 town defenders and 30 non-combatant individuals. That's if you're not counting. 44 people were killed in a single night in Cherry Valley. Again, 1778, before the 1791 Second Amendment. In 1778 and 1779, in parts of New Jersey, individuals in America would carry guns to protect themselves from various criminal attacks and terroristic attacks. Maybe we should take a hint and actually arm our schools and other places that we are concerned are vulnerable to attack by scumbags, criminals, and terrorists. And by the way, the founding fathers were also familiar with foreign problems that involve massive numbers of people being killed in short periods of time. In 1780, that's 1780 in London, England, you have what was called the Gordon Riots. The Gordon Riots. Not worth getting into the details, but it's basically a religious battle between the Catholics and the Protestants. But during the Gordon Riots, in approximately 5 or 6 days, 850 people, that's 850 people were killed in less than a week in the riots in England. Now, this is important because several members of the Founding Fathers This was in the middle of the American Revolution, by the way, and several of the Founding Fathers made observations about the Gordon riots in 1780, again, before the Second Amendment was adopted. In 1781, the Long Run Massacre took place, where Iroquois Indians attacked frontier settlers in Kentucky, and they killed 32 people. In 1791, again, and this will be the last one I give you, Big Bottom Massacre, Indian tribesmen ambushed American squatters in Ohio, killing 12 to 14 people. We're not quite sure of the exact number, but it certainly was over a dozen. The bottom line is this. Since well before the American founding, everyday people faced real threats of violent attacks and mass killings and mass murders by various, groups, including Indian tribes, redcoats, and others, and outlaws, criminals, right? And of course, the Founding Fathers already knew all about this, in addition to religious fights in Europe where many people died in religious battles, which is why they adopted the First Amendment's right to free exercise of religion and no establishment of religion, because, of course, all the people that were killed in Europe because of religious battles. What did the Founding Fathers do in light of this history that they were well aware? Because they were really smart guys. They knew their history better than basically anybody, right? So what did they learn from history when they adopted the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, including the right to keep and bear arms? Well, the Founding Fathers knew exactly. They did not say, hey, we need to ban guns. We need to ban tomahawks. We need to ban bayonets. We need to ban weapons. They're not that stupid. They were smart. They actually went the reverse. They said, we want a right to keep and bear arms. We want the people to have a right to keep and bear arms because the Founding Fathers were indeed specifically aware of mass killings that took place before the Revolution and even during the Revolution, outside of the context of war and beyond. They knew about mass killings. They knew about this sort of thing long before. So any of these smarty-pant liberals, these smarty-pant media folks, these anti-gunners out there that are like, hey, the Founding Fathers never would have signed off on the Second Amendment if they had only known, BS. BS. That is historically not accurate, and that is a reason why we have the Second Amendment, to protect all Americans against the violent evildoers that are in our midst. And there's no way to ban evil. Unfortunately, it is a fact of life, not just in our society, but in all societies, including the society that gave rise to our Second Amendment. Okay, I hope you learned something here today at the Four Boxes Diner. We'll see you again soon at the Four Boxes Diner.
Orders up. Table 2A.